Hey, y'all, happy Saturday. I hope you're having a good Saturday. I am so far. Nice to see y'all all here. We got to talk. It's Trending Topics Saturday. And listen, this is crazy. That's the name of tonight's show. This is crazy. Somebody put in the chat, this is crazy. Hashtag, this is crazy. Yes, it is. It's crazy. Anybody out there live in Chicago? Why? Because the Chicago mayor out there, okay, has a bill of $30K, I think they said for the year, on makeup. That's where your tax money is going. Your tax money is going so the man can get his makeup done. So when he gonna make appearances, his skin could be all even and he looks good. That's just his makeup. Forget about the haircut, probably the wardrobe, probably the car and everything to get to where he going. Paying $30K a year on the makeup. Because he want to look good when he's doing, I guess, his press conferences or whatever. Check out where your money is going to people out there in Chicago. Check it out. Figure it out. Yeah, but this is crazy. All right? So then we got Jeezy. Listen, Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, they going through it. And so Jeannie Mai accused Jeezy of putting his hands on her. Y'all figure it out. You know this is YouTube. We got to be so sensitive with our speech, but you know what I'm talking about. Putting their hands on her. She showed pictures with the bruises and whatnot. Yes, she did. And she said, this is what he did to me. He called it, because you know the whole thing now in the entertainment world. He getting a full face beat, Raheem. Yeah, the mayor of Chicago. Y'all people out there in Chicago, go figure it out with your mayor. Getting a full face beat on your dime. Yes, he is. That's right, people. Come on, I'm working. Hit the like button. Y'all got your favorite sitcoms out there, reality TV shows, and then there's the diva doing trending topics. Hit the like button, okay? Come on, hit the like button as you come in the building. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, so, Jeezy is trying to fight back now. I didn't realize his ex before Jeannie Mai, he was with her for 10 years. So she coming out writing a character statement now, saying, he's a good person. I never seen him do anything. Well, listen, girlfriend. Now we know people could be getting beat down and people don't see it. So that doesn't mean that the person that's being accused is innocent. Because all the people that been around Diddy, they never saw any violence. They just heard about it. They seen people go in the rooms, come out. They went in the room with Diddy. They came out. They was all beat up and marked up. But they never seen Diddy do anything. So seeing doesn't mean that person is not violent. So get out of here, girlfriend. And listen, people could be different ways with different people. They could be with Diva. And me and them are volatile together. They can go get with somebody else, and that person, they have a beautiful life together, and you would never think they were the person they were with me. People are different around different people. Yeah, people wear many masks. Come on now. You are correct, Rebels. So for her coming out writing this statement, I never saw him be abusive. All right, what does that mean to me? Here go my pictures, girlfriend. And I say he did it. Now what? But we're going to talk about it. And then y'all buckle your seatbelts. Usually, on the weekend, if we do come on the show on the weekend, we like to have a nice relaxed show. And you could just ride without your seatbelt. But tonight you're going to have to buckle your seatbelts. Because we've been saying this over here for a few months now, and y'all been throwing tomatoes, bottles. Y'all been beating me down. Accusing us of not siding with the victims. Y'all been beating us down. But we've been saying over here for a while now that Diddy wasn't the only one with this sinister behavior. I've been asking y'all for months. And Kanye and y'all told me to mind my business. I've been asking y'all, excuse me, for months to save Bianca. Bianca walking around with a bikini on outside and he fully clothed. She walking around with sheer tights on, showing her whole body, her boobs, all kind of stuff. And now somebody's suing Kanye. Although she's not labeling herself, she's labeling herself as the assistant. But it appears like this young lady was probably allegedly a S worker that was getting paid a whole lot of money. Now, I don't think I meet the criteria. Too old, don't got the body, but these S workers are getting paid $1 million a year. So now, in her lawsuit, she said that Kanye would solicit her to have relations, and Bianca was a part of it. And this ain't diva talking. This is written words, y'all, because y'all know over here I go by the written words, or else y'all lose your mind. This ain't diva words. Girlfriend is saying this in her lawsuit that he wanted orgies. Bianca was a part of it. And he asked his wife, to pleasure him and his friends. It's a Diddy party. Did I not tell y'all? Remember when the people start saying it? Remember, you heard it here first. It's called the Diddy Blueprint. Now, he rewrote it to a whole nother sinister level. And maybe he wasn't the one that started the blueprint, but he definitely took the blueprint over and took it to a whole nother sinister level. But it's called the blueprint, the Diddy Blueprint. So now Kanye is doing some Diddy stuff. So it's alleged, according to this lawsuit. And so, see, he did it. He put a spin on it. Because remember, Kanye came out and said now he's going to have a studio and he's going to start a corn company. Y'all changed the letter in front of corn. Y'all know what it is and put a P. Come on, you ain't lying, Felicia. You said work ain't honest, but it pays the bills. I mean, good God, it pays the bills and it gets you a whole lot of other stuff too. Now, are they claiming this on their taxes? Are they giving the government his money? So yeah, some sinister stuff going on. But Diddy, I'm sorry, I'm confusing now because we talking about Kanye. Kanye seems to be another Diddy. And Kanye had the nerve to say that he had to take several baths and showers after being with Amber Rose before he got with Kim Kardashian. What a joke. And he got his wife out here allegedly Allegedly, he pimping the wife out. That's the best I could say it. What's confusing to me is how come these ladies sign up for this stuff? And so remember when he was on that water taxi in Italy and she was down below and he was sitting down showing his booty, looked like his pants was out, and the people were alleging she was pleasuring him? Now I believe it was true. Listen, is that not crazy? Your husband. A husband's supposed to love and protect you. But instead, he's using you and asking you to do him favors in front of others. And then, by the way, when you done with us, help my boys out. Where's Bianca's Sensori family? They need to come save her. They need to come save her. They need to do an intervention. I know she grown, but I would do an intervention. I would be running after my kid and screaming to the top of my lungs until perhaps they might hear me. But yeah, so as the world is exposing Diddy, and listen, you already know he needs to pay for whatever he has done. But there's a whole lot of other people that are trying to lay low and be quiet. You want to know why? Because they was partying with him. They went there. They picked up the blueprint. They asked him for the blueprint. They bought the blueprint. And now they're doing their own type of spin on it. But Diddy's not the only one. He didn't do those FO parties alone. And so the thing is, they like to do it. They like to film it. They like to show it to other people. That's how they do their recruiting, allegedly. Shy ain't no fun if the homies can't have none, is his motto. I guess it is. Come on, Special K. That's a mess. Disgusting. But just know this. There's a lot of names that's going to fall out at the end of this situation. And I know y'all, I'm not going to say it much, but I'll whisper it. Because y'all been get emotional. Some people do things and you're like, they could never. They're human. So I'll say a little whisper that the name that keeps slipping out, buzzing out amongst a lot of these particular lawsuits that are going this way is your golden couple. Bzz, bzz, bzz. I won't say the name, but you get it. Bzz. You're your golden couple. Their name just happened to keep popping up. Little sprinkles of them in these lawsuits. Listen, the names are coming out. We're seeing people true colors. Kim Kardashian should thank her lucky stars. I don't care how y'all feel about Kim. I don't know how she did it that long. And they got 4 kids together. Is it 4 of them? God bless her. Because I wouldn't want Kanye on top of me if he was the last man on this earth. It'd be a no for me. And they say he don't like to really wash. Get out of here. Anyway, guys, I need to board the train this Saturday night and it's trending topics. This is crazy. Yo, come on, Tay-Tay. I appreciate you. I need the what? I need the choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Saturday night trending topics, and the title is This is Crazy. We're talking the Chicago mayor. Somebody get me some lip gloss, okay? A little pressed powder, a little eyeliner, tweak my eyebrows, do what you got to do. Because he's paying $30K for his makeup artist, okay? He's supposed to be saving the city, and he getting a whole face beat. And I see somebody trying to get backstage. I'm so sorry, but backstage is packed. We got Jeezy, okay? Jeezy getting character witnesses. He bringing the ex-girlfriend, his baby mama that was with him for 10 years, lived with him. He didn't marry her, but now she coming out and saying he's a good guy. Don't believe Jeannie Mai. Girl, sit down. But anyway, we're going to talk about it. And then last but not least, we got Diddy and Kanye West. I keep saying Diddy because I'm mixing everybody with the Diddy-like behavior in that Diddy package. But I mean, we're talking Kanye West, who has Diddy-like behaviors, allegedly. Let me go ahead and load this train up and bring these people in the building. Okay, now let me bring the people on in the building. Hold on one second. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Savannah.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Felicia. Hey, E. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Katrina. Hey, Julian.
Hey, Diva.
Choo, choo, choo. Hey, Tay Tay. Hey, Dustin. All right, people.
Hey, Diva.
Hey.
In my opinion.
Hey, people, we're going to go ahead and get this train rolling. All right, everybody, buckle your seatbelt. We might as well start with this Chicago mayor. Listen, shout out to all the people that live out there in Chicago. I'm praying for you because your mayor, he like to get his face beat. And I don't got a problem with him getting his face beat. I got a problem with him spending the good, hard-earned taxpayers' money for him to have this service done. So let's go ahead and get right into this story. Hold on one second. So let me see there. So revealed, the Chicago's Liberal Mayor Brandon Johnson spent $30,000 on makeup during his first year in office. I mean, good gosh, mister. Okay? First year in office, $30,000. That's Brandon Johnson, y'all. Okay, he getting his makeup done because he want to look nice when he got to do his conferences, out there for the people. So Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has come under scrutiny for his excessive spending on personal grooming. Johnson managed to burn through a staggering $30,000 in just 1 year, with the majority of the funds allocated to makeup services. Okay, so he getting the makeup done. Look at him there. Come on now. Come on, girlfriend. She got my color hair. She doing her thing. I want her to get paid, but I hope there's not the taxpayers' money. Between 2023 and 2024, Johnson made more than 30 payments to Denise and Milroy's Makeup Magic. Okay. Most of the $30,000 went to Denise Milroy, a makeup artist and self-professed skincare enthusiast who operates on the south side of the city. The rest of the sum, $4,000, was spent on hair appointments at a beauty salon. Johnson, a progressive Democrat, was elected mayor in 2023 after defeating Paul Vallis in a run-off election. Okay, there he is with his makeup artist, and she's smiling. She like cheese because I'm sure she didn't have to, spend much time with him to get them that $30,000. You can't be mad at her. Amid the backlash, campaign advisor Bill attempted to deflect criticism by commending the mayor of not utilizing taxpayer money for grooming services. However, questions persist regarding the necessity and inappropriateness of such expenses. In a written statement to the Chicago Sun-Times, Bill said, the mayor does not spend taxpayer dollars in preparation for the many public appearances and events he attends every day. Furthermore, Bill emphasized the support for Black and women-owned businesses through Johnson's spending, but failed to address inquiries regarding potential beneficiaries besides the mayor and the decision to retain a makeup artist, right? Despite Bill's efforts to spin the narrative positively, comparisons with other officials' grooming expenses state a stark contrast. For instance, in 2019, Cook County Board President Tony Prickwinkle spent a mere $217 on makeup services, underscoring the magnitude of Mayor Johnson's spending. The controversy comes at a challenging time for Mayor Johnson, as recent polls indicate the dwindling approval ratings among Chicago voters. Only about 1/5 of voters in the Windy City said they approve of the freshman mayor in a new poll conducted by the Democrat pollster. Two Chin Research. When asked how they felt Johnson was performing, just 21% replied that they approved of his performance as mayor. 7% of the survey respondents rated Johnson's performance as excellent, while another 14% answered it was good. Meanwhile, as many as 69% disapprove of the mayor's performance, with 27% rated it only as fair and 43% said as bad. Okay, so the mayor, listen, he wants to look good for the people. Can we blame him? 30K on just his makeup artist. In my opinion, what are your thoughts?
I don't even know how to respond to this. I've never heard of a man spending 30,000 for a makeup artist. I'm gonna have to think about this one a little more. I don't really have a comment on this one, Diva.
Okay, no problem. Savannah, you're up.
So, David, did I hear correctly? So he doesn't spend tax dollars on this service. He spends his own money.
It's not his own money. I digged a little further. That guy was trying to put a little spin on it. But the money did come out of the taxpayers' fund. Like it's paid through, his job or whatever. He created the makeup artist as an expense.
Okay, okay, because I was reading up on Illinois' trend policy. It's a paper publication in Illinois. In Chicago, carjacking vehicle thefts had doubled from more than a decade ago. Um, Assault and battery cases are up. I mean, almost every violent crime in that city has risen. I'm trying to see if this if money is being diverted from any of these programs that could be put to a better use than contouring and blending for the mayor. And this is why people don't follow politics now and have the verbiage to say that they're not going to vote, and they give fuel to people in Congress like Margie Taylor Greene. You also have that other super mayor, I believe she's also in a town in Illinois, who is also um, stealing or diverting funds from her city to suit her personal needs as well. So I think the governor of Illinois is going to be doing some major cleanup when it comes to these Democratic candidates who are not really serving their constituents or their people or their communities, but are in using their office for self gain. And it's unfortunate that it's people of minority groups that are doing this.
Yeah. I appreciate you. Thank you, Savannah. Felicia, you're up.
Well, good evening, everybody. Um, I don't have a problem with him, wearing makeup or having a makeup artist. But why is it that the people of Chicago have to pay for it? I'm just not understanding why he needed that kind of person on staff. So this person is clearly part time, right? And
Mhm.
I guess when he has things he has to do and he's going to be in front of the camera, he asks him to come on. But I think he needs to find another way to pick up the cost of looking good on camera. I know it's important to make a good presentation. I'm
Right.
not going to take that away from him, but I don't think taxpayers need to be paid for it. If it's part of your job, you pay for that person and you write it off on your own taxes
I
as
know
part of
that's
your
right.
expenses. Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Tay, you're up.
My question is, where's the money came from? There's no way he had that money right there. Did people in the Chicago donate the money, or is something else? I mean, the man look dressed sharp right there in that picture you show us, Steve. That's what I'm thinking right now. I wonder where he get that money from. It's probably from tax, is it? Hmm. That's all, Diva.
Thank you, Tay Tay. Julius, you're up.
The people of Chicago shouldn't be paying for this. He makes a good salary. He can pay for it. Stop being a bum and stop being lazy. And they wonder why folks don't tune into politics when they should. Miss me with the foolery.
Thank you, Wayne. You're up.
Yeah, I think he get lessons from Melania Trump. She spent about 300,000 or 400,000. So maybe he think he's giving the folks in Chicago a break. Also, I mean, of course, that's an excessive amount of money, $30,000. But you know how you do with your friends and your people. Look, I'm gonna give you 30, but you got to break me 15 off. So I'm not saying that, but a lot of times when people are paid in the excess, it's a lot of times something devious with it. So I think some kind of deal was made. That's it.
Thank you. E, you're up.
Well, it's unfortunate that he would be doing this during. Well, it's unfortunate he would be doing it at all, but especially during an election year where there's so much scrutiny on both parties, but especially when the Democrats have so much to live up to. It's unfortunate. Savannah kind of touched on my talking point because the budget analysts in Chicago predicted that the city would fall short between what they spent versus what they brought in. And it wasn't just a small window, it was $538 million that they were talking about. It's serious. And so when they voted on this last year, the mayor and 48 aldermen, they all decided to accept a pay raise. They gave themselves a raise. And the key fact to remember here is that Brandon is the first mayor in Chicago since 2006 to accept a raise. And he makes $221,000 a year. And so the median salary for citizens in Chicago is $65,000 a year. And so he's making $221,000. You make enough to afford your own makeup out of your own pocket. So how dare you build that to your city who earn on average 3 times less than you do? And when I go to his Instagram, that's why I said it's so disappointing because, it's on the outside, it looks great, right? And then I see that he's trying to get all these projects. He has all of these Black women there and, he's sponsoring certain high school kids and college people. And then he has this LGBT stuff up here. I think it's horrible. I think we got to get back to the basics. I'm with Felicia. I don't mind you wearing makeup, but you pay for your Mac and your what's this stuff? They used to come to your door. This Mary Kay, you buy your Mac and your Mary Kay on your own dime.
Yeah, I agree with you. Thank you, E. Dustin, you're up.
I think that he should be. I think that he should be paying for that out of his own pocket. He should make the Chicago people pay for his appearance on a public dime. That aggravates me to no end because I wouldn't do it wouldn't do it anyway. And that's very pretty low in my opinion, Diva, for him to charge the city of Chicago that.
Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate you. Katrina, you're up.
Is this $30,000 a year or a
That's
month?
no. They were saying it's a year. But it's not like, you know, as a man, you're not doing appearances every day.
For
Like
real.
where is this money going to? Like, what is the need?
Going
Yeah.
to his girls. Let me stop. I'm just playing. Going to his women's on the side. Because you ain't paying no $30,000 for no makeup. And I understand you want to look good or whatsoever, but Estee Lauder don't cost that much. And Fashion Fair is out of business. So they can use CoverGirl. So he can use CoverGirl for his face. That's the cheapest one. And that would be it. And no, taxpayer should be paying for his glam. That money he's using on that, they can give somebody homeless, giving them an apartment or house to stay in. That's ridiculous. And for him to use this on makeup, I wouldn't even tell nobody that. But anyway, that's how they roll. But I think he should turn the money over to people that's homeless, that's on the street, that need food. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and roll right into our next story. And you know, divorce is divorce, right? There's a saying that goes that you're never divorcing the same person that you married. And some couples, they can divorce and, you know, they could just go their separate ways quietly. Other couples, they go back and forth, they go through it. We saw with Kevin Costner and his wife, I think her name was Christine, if I remember her name correctly. They went through it. And finally, at the end, because he was smart enough, he had a prenup. You know, the prenup was enforced. But then you have right now who's going through a divorce is the first female. I don't know if she was the first, but the Black Bachelorette. So, you know, her and her husband are going through a divorce, and she's a whole lawyer and never got a prenup. She talking about, I didn't think at the time this, that, and the other. I'm telling y'all over here right now, I don't care if you just have $1. Get you a prenup so that when you leave, you can leave with your $1. So now we have Jeezy and, you know, Jeannie Mai, and there is money involved, and they're fighting over some funds, right? Or whatever the case may be. And I would say this when it comes to the money. If you legit have your own money and you can take care of that child, instead of the headache and giving all this money to the lawyers, because their thing has been dragging out for months now, at the very least. Instead of dragging this thing out, giving it to all this money to the lawyer, see if you could just move on, cut your ties, and keep moving. Now, I believe that Jeezy is really only fighting her because he doesn't want to pay child support or spousal support. And I believe if she let go of the issue, and I'm not saying she should or has to, I'm just telling you what I believe. If she lets it go, all of this will go away, and he will go away too, and he wouldn't be asking for half custody, full custody, or 2 seconds of custody with his daughter. That is just my belief, right? So, but either way, they're going through it. Mud is being sling. The latest thing that Jeannie Mai has said was that Jeezy put his hands on her, right? And he, of course, denied it, because that's what they do. Deny, right? He denied it. And so now he has gotten his ex-girlfriend, who is also the mother of one of his children, to come out and say, you know what? He's a good guy. So Jeezy's ex, Maya, defends the devoted and peaceful rapper from Jeannie Mai's abuse allegations in the divorce battle. So Jeezy called, let me just pause this. Jeezy has called upon a couple of women in his life to defend him against his estranged wife, Jeannie Mai's abuse allegations. Mai, who shares daughter Amara, Nora Jenkins, 10, with the put-on rapper, filed a sworn affidavit Friday morning, testifying to Jeezy's peaceful demeanor. I witnessed Jay be a devoted, caring, and present father to our daughter and his oldest child, Jacarius Jenkins, 28. She writes in court documents obtained by Page 6. For almost 4 years, Jay's eldest child lived with us, and I was able to see their relationship grow every day. At no point was Jay ever physically, mentally, or emotionally abusive to his children or I. Mai, 37, further described her ex, whom she dated for a decade, as one of the most peaceful people she's ever met. However, in 2020, she sued the musician, claiming he failed to pay her the court-ordered $10,000 per month in child support for their daughter. her medical expenses not covered by insurance, or her private school tuition. Jeezy, whose real name is Jay Jenkins. So if he had to pay her $10,000 a month, I think that's what he's really fighting about. He don't have time to be dishing out another $10,000 or $15,000 for another child. That's why Jeannie she's taking a hit for this. He's like, not anymore. Jeezy, whose real name is Jay Jenkins, also had his and Mai's nanny submit an affidavit in which she described the performer as being an extremely loving dad to his and Mai's daughter, as well as to his younger daughter, Monaco, too, who he shares with the real co-host. As a caretaker, I believe Mr. Jenkins gives his daughter the support they need as they grow into young women in the future. Whoever writes in the legal document obtained by page 6. Mr. Jenkins is a hardworking person. He's even a more hardworking dad. A rep for Mai tells page 6 in a statement, it seems Mr. Jenkins is trying to distort the truth once more by employing people to file false statements and claims against Ms. Mai, attempting to contradict real-time evidence and factual events. We are eager to present all the evidence in court. That was her. Mai 45 claimed in an April court filing that Jenkins 46 put his hands around her neck from behind as she was coming up the stairs and pushed her down the steps while they were at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in San Francisco on April 14, 2022. The TV personality further alleged that security intervened and offered her protection after he repeatedly stated she felt unsafe. Jenkins vehemently denied the accusations, describing them as malicious. The allegations are not only false, but also deeply disturbing, especially coming from someone I love, the rapper told page 6 in a statement at the time. The malicious attempt to tarnish my character and disrupt my family is ridiculous. It's disheartening to witness the manipulation and deceit at play. And at this time, my main concern is being an active father to our daughter as I continue to fight for court-mandated joint custody. The Loser My Mind rapper filed for divorce from Mai in September 2023 after 2 years of marriage. So he's having people, the daughter is adorable. He's having people come out and say, I'm a good guy. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Now listen here, okay? There ain't nobody finna make me believe, okay, what I already know. Let's be clear, okay? He's holding something over her head for her to lie for him, okay? Because I don't believe nothing that come out. We all saw the text messages where he was apologizing for driving the car, golf carts. Ooh, I cannot get my words out tonight. The golf cart into the house, okay? And he was apologizing for that. We saw the injuries. We saw all the pow-pows in the house, okay? We have testimony from his son that said he tried to unalive him by strangling him. Mm-hmm. This is a pattern, okay? A pattern of A, okay? And he's done this his whole time, okay? When he can't dominate these girls by the money, he dominates them by abuse. It's sad. And anybody that vouches for him is sad. We always keep talking about protect the victims, but how can we protect the victims if we always looking for somebody to be perfect? There's no perfect victim. Never. There's always something they could have done, should have done, would have done. But I am standing up for women's right because I believe that woman has a right to protect her child. And as the judge, he should take all this into account and make a informed decision and make sure that the baby has the best and safe environment.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Savannah, you're up.
Harpo, who this woman and how much did he pay her? Because where did she come from? Ma'am, there's video of him parading through the house with objects that Jeannie was concerned about were freely accessible to the 2-year-old. There's an incident report from the Ritz where an employee had to intervene in an incident of being pushed down the stairs. where Jeannie expressed that she felt unsafe, and the employee informed both of them that they would have to take their argument elsewhere because they were disrupting the guests, meaning there's more witnesses to DV between these two people. So I don't understand where she came from. What is her purpose? Someone else looking for 15 minutes. Um, this is all about control. This is all about staying connected some way, somehow to Jeannie. I don't believe he has any interest in raising his Monica, the 2-year-old baby. I just think it's a way for him to punish Jeannie. Jeezy has a history of being an absentee father, and I don't believe he has found a new calling where all of a sudden he wants to be present and raise a 2-year-old. So I'm done. I'm confused and I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Wayne, you're up.
Steve, I don't have an opinion on this because I don't really follow them.
All right, thank you. E, you're up. E, are you there? Okay.
All right, I was fighting with the mute button. You know, this lady says that Jeezy was so peaceful and supportive. But one of the main components of her taking him to court in 2020, and I told y'all this last year, when the incident first broke, he promised this lady a car. Okay. She asked for $30,000. He agreed to pay it. And then he wouldn't. And this is why she took him to court, because he was not paying her, but he was out at the club and he was traveling all over the US and the Bahamas and Asia with Jeannie Mai. So be clear, if he was so peaceful and supportive, then Maha would not have needed to go down to the white man to enforce this black man and all his shady, dusty, and manipulative practices to fly right. Maha was mad that Jeannie was around so much, and Jeannie had access to the money, and Maha's access to the money was cut off. So Maha's character reference is not credible. It's just not credible. She is never was and never will be. She never was married to Jeezy, and she never will be. And to be honest, that could leave a bitter taste in a person's mouth. There's resentment there, there's anger and embarrassment, and it's all misdirected because Maha says she was together with Jeannie for a decade. And yes, you were together with this dusty, crusty Negro for a decade. You gave him a daughter. He never married you after 10 long years, because she put that in the letter as if it means something. Did you know he had all those pow-pows in the closet? Did you know that after 10 long years? The character letter to the judge was a shot at Jeannie. Be clear, because Jeannie got the life that Maha thought that she was going to get. And be clear, Jeezy got with Jeannie in 2020, and they got married a year later, a year and a half later. Didn't take 10 years, and then here comes the baby bouncing along. If he was really all of these great things, then chicken head, why didn't he marry you? You need to tell me. You need to give me the specifics as to if this person is so great and so fabulous. How come he didn't marry you? How come he didn't marry the baby mama before that and the baby mama before that? I want us to get real, because I think this is a pattern that we're seeing out here with our women, because even Erica Dixon and this scrappy thing after his divorce from Bambi, this is what it gives me. The Erica Dixon, you're mad that the man moved on, chose somebody else and married them, and then for whatever reason, when it doesn't work out, is the extra slap in the face to the next woman. I told you so. That letter is not about Jeezy at all. That letter is about Jeannie, and I hope the judge sees it for what it truly is.
Woo! Well, you said that, E. Okay, now. Yeah, come on, Yvonne. She said I had to sit up. That's facts. All right, I got you. I see why she wrote that. Felicia, you're up.
You know, it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
It's not her business, and it's most definitely not her legal business. As
Mm-hmm.
he said, this is his wife. She's entitled to alimony. This is a wife who allegedly asked you many, many times over to please put all these weapons away. Get them off the floor. Don't have it in the bag down there by the bed. Get the two from up underneath the mattress. Can you get a couple of off the closet door on the lower end? He was totally uncooperative. So now they're in court, and the more things get discussed, the more the truth comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And you bring in a former paid hoe for about $20. She wrote this letter, this statement about what she know. She don't know nothing. She knows she didn't get paid for some car. Who know what that was all about? I don't know. I don't care. So now she puts herself in the middle of a legal piece. And listen, we learned a little bit about Jenny. She know these streets. You didn't want to go up against her. I'm going to say that tonight. Because she may have somebody come out with a counter statement against who you are.
Oh my God.
And open up some doors on your life that you didn't want open. Because this is not her business. It really isn't. So she's going to get her alimony. She's going to get all her child support. She's going to get all the security she needs because her ex-husband is a madman.
Oh my God.
Now, this woman, she want to get in it. Well, then she'll have to get even more money. Because she could say, Your Honor, look, these hoes is coming out of the woodwork coming after me. I'm just here to settle this up and do what's best, as he said, for my child, for our child together. No, she was out of pocket, out of line, and out of bounds. And I think she's going to pay the price because Jenny from the streets. Okay. So Jeannie Mai is she's not the one, she's not that one to be playing with. You shouldn't have got in. It's going to cost her. I'm done.
Thank you. Julius, you're up.
If you're a responsible pow owner, you know to lock up your stuff. It's a part of the requirements of owning one.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, he's not responsible. I mean, he's been acting a fool. So like we say on here, we say it to the females, and it applies to the sense because he is a male. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Julius. Wayne, you're up.
I pass, David.
Okay. E, you're up. I can't hear you already. Katrina, you're up.
I feel like this, Diva. All these women know what they got into when they was getting with Jeezy. He sat up and told you what his life was like before you got in a relationship with him. And then when the other women was telling you about him, you didn't listen because Keisha Cole tried to tell um, his wife about Jeezy. Did she listen? No. So Jeannie Mai knew exactly who she was getting when she married him. And if she tells something different, I know that's not true because we always know what Jeezy did. So all of them getting involved with this man, knowing exactly what type of man this is, and so they jump into that life. And like I said, I'm out for women's and all that type of stuff. But if somebody sit up there telling you something, it ain't like they knew about Diddy or whatsoever. But these women telling you, they telling you about this man, and you still got with this man. So you got with him. You got to face the consequences. He still have no reason to have the pow-pows around, but you knew that was his life before you got with him. And you're not going to tell me you didn't because everybody know what Jesus' life was about before he even got with these women and when he had his kids or whatsoever. So they got with him for the money, the fame. Like I said, I think him and Jeannie Mai did that for a publicity stunt when they got together because I never really thought that he was going to stay with her anyway. But that's my opinion. Like I said, they knew exactly what they was getting when they got him. And so now they got to deal with the consequences of getting out of it. That's all I got, Diva.
Woo! Ooh, Tay Tay, did I skip you? My screen has shifted.
Your screen was shifted, Diva. Oh, look at here, G. You're the one say on the real you say you like your dark meat. Guess what? You is stuck with that dark meat when all those women tell you in the first place about him. And what you do, you go ahead, date him, then you got engaged, you got married, and you had kids, and now you stuck with this nasty divorce and then try and get custody of your child right there. And by the way, to that his baby mama, girl, I need you go sit down and somewhere. This ain't got between you and Jeannie and your baby daddy. That's between those two. Girl, sit down. Good Lord. See, that's why baby mama needs to stay there in their place right now. This is between the husband and the wife. You probably was jealous because Jeannie was married his wife. That's probably why you got jealous. Because he didn't want to marry you. Same thing with the other baby mama too. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Tay Tay. Eno, you're up. Are you there? All right. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna move. Go ahead. Go ahead, E.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So what I would like to say is this: I don't agree with Jeezy, and I do not agree with. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't agree with. One second. I think I have you on both. Let me. Oh, I think I need to do this. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I had to take you off. Anyway, I was saying I don't agree with Jeannie Mai and I don't agree with Jeezy. And as for the mother of the child, I don't agree with her because I feel like you should be a wife. But I will say this, I agree with, I think her name was Kat, that Jeannie Mai knew what she was getting into. So when I hear people talk about the guns and things like that, I think we all as women know when we're getting with a thug. And I think
Say pow
Jeannie
pow.
Mai,
Say-
sorry. I apologize. Pow pow. Sorry, I won't make that mistake again.
Okay.
When she got with the thug, or she wanted to marry the thug life, I think she knew she dropped a husband of what, like 10 years to get with this guy. So I do not feel sorry for her at all. At all. And I think that's all I'll say.
All right. Well, Go ahead, E.
There was a nice person in the chat who said if they have a prenup, what are they fighting about? And so I think some people have forgotten that initially Jeannie did feel blindsided by the divorce and she wanted to work it out. The child support was not mentioned in the prenup, but what threw a monkey wrench in the game is, remember, he came out and said he wanted full custody. And he wanted her to come back to the state of Georgia because remember, she left and went to LA. And so that's how this fight began. And to get him to back up a little bit, that's when she started releasing this evidence. And then he changed it from wanting full custody to wanting joint custody. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And so I want people to remember how we got here. He came out smearing her first because he was alluding to the fact that she was unfaithful. And so then she came out and said that he was unfaithful. And there's a clause in their prenup that if someone is unfaithful, they have to pay. And so now this is about the money and somebody got to pay. And I think it's going to be Jeezy.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Jeezy. We shall see. Listen, Diddy said time tells truth. Time tells truth. So in time, we will see. I'm going to go ahead and roll into this last story. You know, Kanye West is being sued Similar lawsuit to like The Dream, similar lawsuit to like Diddy, similar lawsuit. I mean, what name of Russell Simmons? I mean, we probably could name a list of people in the industry that
Usher.
are currently. Doing Usher?
Yes.
Who's suing Usher?
He been 2 years ago. Remember those cases? He settled for $1.1 million.
Oh, good gosh. All right. Ooh, girl, it's Saturday. I guess Usher. We got to put Usher on the list, okay? So we can name the slew of people that are currently being sued for Diddy-like behavior. I'm calling it the Diddy blueprint. So let's get into this really quickly. So Kanye West, SH lawsuit, okay? So Yeez has these parties. You know, Diddy called them FOs. Whether you want to call it a FO, a S party, or orgy, it's happening. And Diddy's not the only one doing it. So if I'm not mistaken, I thought Kanye West had the nerve to say something about Diddy, and really Kanye? So Kanye West and Bianca Censori had 5-some orgy and ex-assistant book Ubers for participants, okay? So, you know, in the Diddy lawsuit, they call them S workers. Here, they calling them participants. For Diddy, you got on a private jet. You know, Kanye West pocket say call an Uber. All right. What's the difference, though? Harassment lawsuit says, including shocking details from his ex-assistant lawsuit. Okay, so let's get into some of this. So Kanye West and his wife Bianca Censori engaged in a 5-person orgy, and the star asked her to perform oral on his friends. A new lawsuit has claimed. The rapper's ex-assistant Lauren is suing the star for allegedly SHing her, stalking her, and sending her surrogate messages. So here we go with the stalking. You know, they said Diddy had allegedly stalking-like behaviors. They said when Cassie left, you know, he would call her. Well, let me back this up. They said, you know, with Kim Porter, he called her 50 to 60 times in one day. They said when Cassie would leave, he would send all kinds of people after her saying, come back. Come on now. The Dream. He kept, you know, we read that lawsuit the other day. That girl said he would keep calling her back, asking her, where are you? That's all stalkish behavior. So this is the young lady. In a lengthy complaint, the influencer also claims he failed to pay her $3 million in servants after she left the company, plus $1 million that he allegedly promised for deleting her account for her deleting her account on OnlyFans. Documents from the case filed in Los Angeles Superior Court this month now reveals shocking allegations of Kanye's relationship with his Australian partner, 29. Lauren worked for the 46-year-old, now known as Yee, in 2021 and 2022, and paid her an annual wage of $1 million to be at his beck and call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She claims she was tasked with helping find women to bring into his and Bianca's marital bed. Does this sound familiar to y'all? Okay. The suit alleges Kanye, aka Yee, will require plaintiff to coordinate Uber rides for women to meet with him. What's the difference in Diddy? On one such occasion in August 2022, after plaintiff had arranged an Uber ride, Kanye West, aka Yee, and Bianca Censori called plaintiff wanting to discuss the orgy, fivesome they had participated in the day before. Lauren also alleges in her complaint that he also asked his wife for S favors for himself and pals, stating in August 2022 at the Yeezy Says Gap office. They love to do this stuff at the workplace, it seems like, right? Gap office, Kanye West, aka Yee, required plaintiff to remove her cardigan while she was in the office because he said it was covering too much. Later that evening at the office, Kanye West, aka Yee, asked Bianca Censori and other female guests to perform, you know, on his friends and his male guests in the office changing room. During the same time period, Kanye West, aka asked design assistants at Yeezy Gap office while plaintiff would not want to have why plaintiff would not want to have relations with him. Defendant was extremely upset and angry that plaintiff would date or have relations with someone else, but not him. Lauren, who claims to have worked in the music industry for 15 years, is not only suing Kanye, but also his firms Yeezy, Yeezy Apparel, Yeezy Footwear, and Yeezy Construction. She alleges Kanye told her he had been pleasuring himself to the sound of her voice and begged to know the size of her boyfriend's, body parts. Lauren also claims that the hitmaker often sent P videos and photographs, including clips of himself involved in S activity with a woman identified as a model. She further alleges in her filing that the star will perform S acts while on the phone with her and sent her vulgar text messages. The U.S. Sun had reached out to Kanye's rep and Bianca for a comment, but did not hear back. Kanye's recent controversies. Kanye West has faced a number of controversies in the recent years. In November 2022, a former Yeezy staffer alleged in a lawsuit Kanye showed him intimate photos of his ex-wife, Kim Kardashian. Now, I didn't remember that. No, he did not. Staffers also claim he played P for them during meetings and talked about P. The star, who has been sued by multiple former employees, has denied all of the claims. In October 2023, Adidas dropped the rapper as various social media sites barred him from their platforms for making anti-Semitic comments online, in interviews, and with his clothing. Amid pleas from fans and threats of major boycotts, Adidas announced its decision to terminate his contract. Gap and Balenciaga followed suit. Kanye has said in the past that he suffers from a P addiction, making the comments in an online rant that has since been deleted. This man also owned a school. All I can say is God help us. A legal representative who was not named gave a statement denying all the claims to the Washington Post. In response to these baseless allegations, Ye will be filing a lawsuit against Lauren, who actively pursued him sexually to coerce employment and other material benefits, then engaged in blackmail and extortion when her advances were rejected, it read. Lauren says she collaborated with Kanye and worked on 3 songs on his album Donda, released in 2021. Her filing states that a year later, the rapper approached her, asking her to be godlike and delete her OnlyFans. It was not the first time Kanye's employees had made allegations about his supposed love of, having orgies, I'll say. Trevor Phillips is also suing the star for discrimination and harassment, adding his Yeezy company and his Christian private school, Donda Academy, to the list of defendants. According to the former Yeezy employee, Kanye bragged about how he used to have multiple orgies with women every day. I used to have multiple orgies every day, at least 2 to 3 girls, the star allegedly said. Family concern. Trevor filed his lawsuit in April this year, and Kanye's counsel replied last month, denying all of the claims. Meanwhile, Bianca's parents are allegedly concerned about her relationship with Kanye after they secretly tied the knot in January 2023. A visit by Bianca's mom, Alexandra, in March is meant to have changed the family's perception, but the most recent allegations may raise eyebrows among her family and friends. A month before Alexandra's visit, her father, Leo, reportedly demanded a sit-down with Kanye after his architect daughter was seen exposing her genitals in sheer tights around Paris. Insiders told Daily Mail that Bianca's dad, a former convict, believes Kanye has turned his daughter into a chassis commodity. To say the least, Dad was on the right track. Bianca's founder Leo wants to have a proper sit down with Kanye and ask him what the hell he is thinking when he parades Bianca around like a trashy naked trophy pony, said a source close to Bianca. He wants to ask Kanye what would he do if his daughters North or Chicago were seen in public half naked in outfits encouraged by their husbands. They added. Savannah, you're up.
So you're telling me that 5 other humans agreed to partake in an adult event with Kanye and his wife. I'm still stuck on that part right there. I was like, what? Oh my. This man has professed to not washing. Um, he looks like he's musty all the time. And I'm just still struggling with this story. This woman is not only being essayed, but she's also being exploited. And this man is clearly not in his right mind. He has two daughters, one who looks up to him and loves being around both the stepmother and her father, and is very active on social media and will see these stories.
Yeah.
So I struggle to understand Kanye and where he is mentally. This story is just baffling to me, Dave. I can't see other humans wanting to partake with Kanye and his wife in this manner. And I also read a story where her family supports their relationship because it came out recently because there was a incident of a it was someone they were being harassed, Kanye and the wife, by people who are interested in getting close to them, pedestrians, fans, I guess. And Kanye was defending his wife, um, but someone grabbed her to get their attention, to have their a viral moment, I guess. And Kanye almost got physical. And the family came out and had nothing but great things to say about Kanye and the relationship. But this woman, I have never heard her speak. And I don't think that she has a thought for herself. So Kim really saved herself. She dodged a big one.
She most certainly did. Got out right on time. Felicia, you're up.
All right. I don't know what you and Savannah are talking about because how Miss Kim got in it was having her stuff up there on one of the most famous pieces of corn in the world. So no, that's how she entered in on that door, and I'm absolutely confident that she continued. I think this second wife, Bianca, is letting us know what the first wife had to do. And I recall Mr. West some years ago. I will be paraphrasing. No, it won't be an exact quote, but he said he was always turned on by that infamous piece of work that she did with her former boyfriend. And he decided, well, why would I just keep looking at the video when I go marry the real thing? Okay, so he married her and they have this history together. And so she's on the fringes now of getting her own stuff exposed, because I think we collectively on this panel some months ago were speaking about Bianca, and we were feeling horrible for how this woman was being exploited and abused. And I remembered the content creator, the gray haired diva, got a nice little hot message from Mr. and Mrs. West about she was doing good. She was doing just fine. So I guess she wasn't doing so good anymore after this lawsuit came out, because she did go home to Australia, I believe, to be with her parents. So this situation here, what's going on at work, is the key, I believe, in any lawsuit. You are at work. You are the boss. You're the employer. You are asking your employees to do X, Y, Z. I remember when we touched on this suit before, and this woman said that they had a severance agreement. He had agreed to pay her $3 million. They both signed allegedly, but she didn't get her money. So I don't know what happened to that. And I just want to go on the record and say this: just because someone, in my opinion, has a daughter or a mother they got a relationship with, or some sisters, don't mean that they're going to respect anybody. That doesn't mean they value women, females, or they have any special endearment of wanting to protect and to provide. We can go right back to last night. Kim Porter's daddy, what's his name? Jake. I ain't got no place to live, Porter. Uh, where he says, I didn't see nothing like that. It was, as he said, and remind us, she legitimately loved him. Okay, but he couldn't honor her even in death. To bring her above ground and say, even if I didn't know what I know today, I have great empathy and great sorrow for whatever my daughter had to endure. No, he couldn't even give that. So there was a time, and I want to be on the record about this again, that I thought 13.2 was too aggressive. I was a liar. EU was right. Every day another one goes in on the pile. There's very little honor amongst many of these people in this celebrity industry. And I also believe that Miss Bianca was the ex-trafficker too. I think that part, we're about to go there. We're about to go there. So now, nothing's going to surprise me anymore. Absolutely nothing. I keep hearing and I keep wanting to give grace, but there should be no grace given, because these people, whether they're at work, they're in the club, they're at home, this is who they are. And everyone knows it. And now the world is going to know it. I'm done.
Yeah, thank you, Felicia. You know what though? What I find interesting, I feel like this Lauren is kind of dancing around her part in this whole Diddy-like situation, because she was helping collect the girls. She
Of course.
called for the Ubers, but she's trying to act like she's just, it's all innocent, her role in this situation. It's messy.
But she did say how they come to know each other through her OnlyFans, right? So he was a customer. Yes?
Okay.
And so he knows there's other people that she knows in this industry, correct?
Okay, got you.
So this is what they're chosen for. We want to be encouraging. We want to be uplifting. So-and-so says, hey, I got a great new opportunity. And you want to support them. But you know that you don't want to be the one to say, oh, that's a negative kind of space. You may not want to move in that direction because right. You really can't speak for that particular situation. And then, of course, you got to hear, oh, you envious, you jealous, you stupid, you whatever, you always think. So I think this woman, Lauren, is upset that she didn't get the $3 million that she alleges was in this severance agreement. And that's what she's fighting for right now.
Ooh, thank you, Felicia. Julius, you're up.
She was with the get down with his foolery until the boat company sued the both of them. But she was fine with it. But then now you want to go to Australia to be with your family? But you was fine with the get down. And you was fine helping him troll Kim, who really loved him, by the way. Who truly did. Why? I have no idea. But she truly loved that man. And just like Chingy, Chang, whatever, he dated after Kim. Y'all was both fine helping him troll. Oh, but now that you have a lawsuit coming your way for desecrating someone's property publicly, making them uncomfortable, now you want to run scared. Bianca, you said you was big grown. Stand with your husband, boo. Because we know Kanye is crazy. We know Kanye don't give a F. But you was fine enabling all his bad habits, telling him not to take his medication and treatment with his therapy and all of that. You was fine with all of that. Oh, now you want to run scared now? I don't have sympathy for her. Miss me with the foolery.
Wayne, you're up.
Well, I think like-minded people stick together, and obviously, she had some desires, just like Kanye, that she wanted to fulfill. I think she was in defiance of her parents. I'm going to do my own thing. It was all good till it wasn't good anymore. And the other young lady, again, it was all good till it wasn't good anymore. I don't see anybody here. I don't feel like anybody had any Stockholm syndrome. These sound like all willing participants. So I don't have any. And the thing about it as well is that so many of these people are cases are coming up. You get numb to it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then somebody's gonna come along with a really serious and you just don't have that feeling. You just get numb to it. It's like, yeah, there goes another one. That's all.
I appreciate you, Wayne. E, you're up.
Well, I have a lot to say, and I'm with Felicia. I do believe that Bianca is doing the same thing Kim had to do. And I do believe that Kim is on the same type of time mentally as Kanye in some regard. I do believe that Kim is on some of those videotapes, allegedly, that were in a few of those plastic bags that were carried out from the Star Island by Homeland Security. God. Oh, yeah, I believe that. And I do believe that sex is Kim's brand. I believe that's Chloe's brand too. Chloe sleeps with everyone's boyfriend in the industry. We've heard that before. The rapper Trina came out and said Chloe slept with her man. And most of all, their mother. For years, Chris danced all around that topic of Chloe's real paternity and who her father was. Now, that had been a Black woman. How ghetto would they have labeled us for years to come? Since when is that ever a storyline of who is your child's father? And you put this on the TV and then you call it classy and upscale. Just knock it off. And then you put it on E! Entertainment. Why put it on E! when you can put it on Maury? We've been seeing it for years. The pathology of this family is messy intercourse. So is it really shocking that Kim would marry a man who has an addiction to intercourse and watching it on video? No, it's on brand. This is who these people are. These people are sexual deviants because she had her pick of so many men. You divorced and married so many times, and this is the one that you finally settled down with and wanted to reproduce with. So I can't consider Kim as getting off as scot-free. You'll never be scot-free when you're walking around with that little North that looks and acts just like him, and that thinks too, just like him. Everything that they allege about Kanye, I believe 10,000%. He has an addiction, like I said, to physical pleasure. Even in the workplace, he cannot control himself. And I believe that because I told you all the other day, Kenya Moore said it, Wendy Williams. What will she have to gain from this? She said this 6 years ago. She wasn't thinking about bringing the case forward. If he did it to Kenya, imagine who he would do it to who doesn't have the same status as Kenya. Okay? Kanye reaches an immense climax to be in a position to humiliate others, similar to Diddy. So when you start labeling it liking to Diddy, I agree with you there. Kanye gets off on seeing his woman please other men. And men like this don't like women for real. They only use women as a means to an end to get closer to other men. It's hocus pocus. And to think Kanye put in his bid to run for president and thought he was going to John Trump II. Why is that important? And I'm only bringing that up because, again, it goes back to humiliation. Kanye mentioned recently that he never knew what close ties Chris and Kim had to Secretary Hillary Rodham Clinton and former President Bill Clinton. And during the time when he came to know this, how did he respond? Because he said Kim and Chris had the Dems on speed dial. And what did Kanye do? This is when he was publicly aligning himself with who? Donald John Trump. And he was going to all those rallies. And then Kanye said he was running for president. Remember? And then him and Donald had a falling out. So this is what I mean about the humiliation. You know this is off-brand for your wife and her family, and you intentionally go out there anyway and do the hocus pocus. See, Kanye never let Kim walk around in the nude like this Bianca, because Kim had a certain element which would not reduce her to being embarrassed by being scantily clad. That's her brand. Skims. Everything about Kim is sex kitten. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's how she liked to dress anyway. You cannot embarrass her by having her walk around the way she wants to dress anyway. So the response to that is he had Kim covering up. Do you remember? He had her in all black. Even she would have, I call it that material like pantyhose over her face. Like she was just completely covered, even wearing gloves at one point. And, now come to find out in this paperwork, he has this girl, Bianca, and whoever else, and showing Kim's pictures, okay? You got Kim walking around here in loose and baggy clothes, but then you got her pictures on your phone that you're using to seduce new people to come in and join you and get on the bandwagon. And see, the issue I have with this humiliation, because I keep using that word because that's what it is. He has Bianca running around here like the Little Mermaid, seashells on the top and nothing on the bottom. Humiliation. Bianca never dressed like that before. If you Google Bianca's before and after pictures, Bianca was always in athletic wear. She was always in high fashion dresses. She never looked like this. This looks very hard on her. And so now we have official court documents that Kanye organizes FO parties. I believe it. I also believe that there are some drugs involved because remember, it came out some years back. He was all on this medication for bipolar and mental illness, and we all felt sorry for him because he had just lost his mom. Yes, he lost his mom. That's sad and all, but you're a monster. And I find it interesting if all of these people who were being recruited and also doing the recruiting, if they could behave in such an immoral fashion while being sober, that would be really interesting to me. I think that in the Black community, we're going to have to find some new people to listen to because 2024 is going to be the year that all of this stuff gets turned off because it's too much out there. And if you continue to listen to this music and let it enter your mind, you're disassociating yourself from the immoral place from which it stems from. And I don't know if a lot of people will be able to do that. I hope not, but we shall see.
Woo, you said a lot, E, and you said a word. Then it's FO parties. She, is not labeled as a FO, but that's all it is. And she get the workers, and these workers, instead of getting in a limo or the car service, they got to catch a Uber. But she organized the people. What Cassie said, I had to call and get the S workers, and he told me which ones to get. He told her verbally which ones to get. Bianca wanted to call. See, she said Bianca called her about the orgy that they did the other day. But according to her and him, according to her, she never slept with Kanye. He kept begging her to. This is messy. Tay, you're up.
She know what she signed up for. When she married to this man, she should know what he do anyway. If I was her, I would leave him because one, I'm not gonna do that on your friends. No, I'm not gonna do it. That's just plain nasty, disgusting, and all the top in the book I can think of right now. So, no. When a woman says she ain't gonna do it, you better listen to her. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, Tay Tay. Katrina, you up?
Yeah. I agree with everybody what they said. But Kanye have a way of finding women that he knows they have a weakness to.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's her name? Amber Rose. She was a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
Kim, she did porn. Did pee. The other one, she drinking blood. The one that he got with after Kim, that he dressed up to try to make her look like Kim. I forgot her name, but he had one before he got this Bianca girl.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now this Bianca girl walking around, as we would say in Florida, and Wayne would tell us if they walk around with no shoes on, we call them dirty foot. How in the world you walking on these streets with no shoes on, with everybody spitting and everything that's out there, and you walking out there with no shoes? He would be walking with no shoes, but I wouldn't be. First of all, I would not be walking around the streets with no pantyhose on and no panties. That is totally disgusting. He's disgusting. He does things like y'all say to humiliate people, and everybody he get involved with, they had something to do with sex, all of them. And it's sad. And they fall for the okie doke. But all these people coming and suing people, all of them doing it, they ain't got all of them ain't got no unclean hands. So all of them coming to court with unclean hands. Because they had some involvement in the same things that he said that they did. So they all coming to court with unclean hands. That's why she probably didn't get that settlement. Because you can't sue for wrongful termination if you sign in a settlement agreement. So how did you lose your job and you doing a settlement? Didn't they have a settlement, Felicia? They had a settlement agreement. So where's the wrongful
Oh,
termination?
she said it was a servants package that
A service package. Yeah.
he promised her.
So you didn't get fired. You left. You did your own stuff in service because you can't go back for wrongful termination. The only way you can get wrongful
She's not
termination if you fired her.
Katrina. She's not trying to say wrongful termination.
She tried to do that first. She tried that at first. Remember, Diva? Go back and read your thing. She tried to get him for wrongful termination. Said she was going to sue for wrongful termination. And then that's when Felicia said how she going to sue for wrongful termination when she accepted the severance package. Remember?
But he didn't pay.
That's what
that's
I'm saying. But she tried to do for wrongful termination. He never fired her though. But if you go back, I ain't saying he paid, but I'm saying that's what she tried to sue for. You can only sue for wrongful termination if you get fired.
he did let her go. Whether you want to use the word fired or let go, he let her go, but he let her go with a servants package according to her, and she never got the $3 million.
And
So
she was the fool.
that's why she went back and said, listen, you said you was going to give me $3 million when you let me go, and you didn't give it to me. So that's what her issue is right now.
Okay, all right. So she can knock out the wrongful termination thing, so that gone. But either way it goes, they crazy. All of them got Tweety birds flying around their head.
Mhm.
Cause he got a problem, Bianca got a problem, Kim got a problem, the other one that was drinking blood, she got a problem. All of them got Tweety birds around their head. And then for the people to come back and say they was having these orgies with him and doing all this stuff, like I said, none of them got clean hands. All of them got unclean hands. And this is ridiculous and sad. And like Wayne said, we hear this so much. We are getting on to it because we can't. There's none of them out there that we really can respect. And like I tell kids all the time, don't idolize people because people will let you down. You don't idolize nobody. You saying I love this person, I want to be like this. No. Don't idolize nobody. I remember Charles Barkley said that he's not a role model. Your parents should be the role model. And people got mad with him, but he was telling the truth. But either way, maybe I ain't gonna say he come to his senses because he ain't got none. But we'll just see how it goes. That's all I got, Diva.
Okay, I appreciate you. You're up.
In short, I would like to say it sounds like industry mess.
Mm.
Birds of a feather flock together. That's it. That's all.
I appreciate you. That's it, and that's all. Birds of a feather do flock together, and there's a lot more ways. Yes, go ahead, E.
I wanted to catch you before you went into your feel good. What Katrina said something that kind of struck me as far as and too. It's nice to have you up here. Birds of a feather flock together, but we have to remember, and maybe this doesn't mean anything to anyone, but it means something to me. This is a Black man with all of these women who are of other. And the person who's going to get stuck holding the bag is the only one with the bag. He's the only one with the money. He is the source. This is a pyramid scheme, and he is at the top. If the women who are directly under his tier are recruiting for other women to come into the bedroom and join and do these parties, it's still for his benefit. He is the executive of what all of this is going on. Similar to Diddy. Yes, there are other people involved, but he's at the top. And if he's not at the top, then he needs to say something, because you have to follow the money and it all goes back to him. This is a problem, and this needs to be an example to these young men who are getting into this industry, making all of this money and feeling like the world is at the palm of your hands. It can be, but there's a price to it. And do you really want to pay it?
The slight difference in and I hear you, E. The slight difference in Kanye's story is he seems, from what we know of so far, there's no underage people in it, from what we know so far. Like you said, she didn't mention any of the substances being there, So Diddy's major problem is, listen, people can have their whatever they want to do in the bedroom. If they're all consenting adults, that's their business, right? But where it got real, the lines got blurred with Diddy is these were not all consensual people. These people were plied with substances, allegedly, right? And allegedly there were underage individuals involved. Allegedly, he didn't care if he attacked a male or a female, and they didn't want said things that happened to them. What the difference I'm kind of hearing at this moment with Kanye is these are willing participants. They all seem to be adults. And they don't seem like they was forced to do it. Nowhere has this Lauren said that she was R. She said she was SH, but it's interesting that she said that, right? She said she was SH, but yet she said she was calling and arranging girls. So you see how these people telling themselves without telling themselves. So you're claiming SH, but then you go ahead and you arrange girls to come to these parties or orgies or whatever, right? And you was calling the Ubers. So you got a man that you claim was SH in you, but then you're okay with making phone calls to get girls to come to this situation, and you're calling the Ubers. Girl, see, the thing is, when you dig in, there's an old saying, let the people talk, because you let them talk, they're going to tell them themselves. Just let them talk. They're going to end up telling them themselves. She said a whole lot of convoluted mess in that situation. Felicia, look like you want to say something.
Thank you, Diva. I think there's something very important here that we're kind of brushing over. The sticky piece here is he's the employer. Mm-hmm. He hired these people to do one thing. I don't quite remember. What was Lauren hired to do?
You are correct. The assistant that worked 24/7. That is the sticking point. You are correct. You are correct, because he's an employer. That's where he's going to get into a lot of trouble.
Exactly. That's the problem. And part of the story, and forgive me, I forgot, he requested an actual act for him and his friend. Was that Lauren and her friend?
No, I think it was Kanye's. I'm in my head thinking it was men. I'm feeling, because it was like Kanye.
That's what he said.
Yeah, it was. He asked Bianca and her friends to first do him and then do his friends. So in my mind, I'm thinking it was men, but we would have to get the full lawsuit to see exactly everything he's saying. But from what she's saying is that he always wanted her and was mad that she personally never joined in, and I guess did it with him. But again, he said, but you would do it with other people, but not me. And I don't understand why you're not doing me.
Okay, but there was a situation that I did not get it fully, that something happened on the job. I'm talking about when they were at work.
Yeah, in the
on
change,
job.
in the changing room. That's the story I'm talking about.
Okay, exactly. That is the area that got blurred.
Yep.
And as her boss, you're the employer, she's the employee. This is where you're going to have the problem.
Yeah.
Consenting adults can do what consenting adults want to do. The issue here is how some of these entertainers, as we're learning, have blurred the lines between employment, place of work, employee, and somebody I date. And the cases that have been settled thus far and have been favorable for the plaintiffs have been the employees who are not paid, who were wrongfully terminated. I'm talking about the chef, I'm talking about the nanny, I'm talking about the housekeeper, the manager. Those. These other ones are just up for a judge or jury to determine what is fair and what is not.
Right. No, I'm connecting with you and I agree with you exactly. And that's the problem Lizzo is going to have, right? Because
Correct.
you're the employer and these are your employees that you went to these, parties with after work, but it's still a blurred line. But in his case, and so that's why I said before when we talked about hers, she has a legit standing because where she's naming Jeezy and all the companies, because she said clearly this happened in the changing room at the Yeezy Gap premises, so to speak. So this man 24/7, which seems just like Diddy, 24/7 on his brain is just being pleasured and having these situations and don't care where it's at. There was a recent photo of Bianca going into a business meeting for Yeezy with Kanye, right? And she had on nothing but, I don't even know if you could call it a bodysuit. So when I think back to that situation, I'm thinking to myself, it probably was an FO and not a true business meeting. But as you stated, because he's disguising it as business and you got employer, it's going to get you bringing up a whole nother slew of issues. But you mentioned something when we was talking, about this initially, Alicia, that is why he probably, because he mentioned before, I don't know if y'all remember, that he wanted to start his own corn company. And he said it was going to be the best thing out there. It's going to beat all of these ones that already exist. So I guess he just figured, let me have a legal way where I'm an employer and I have my employees, but this is what they do. And that way I can make it legal and I won't get into allegedly all of this Diddy trouble. Anybody else before we move forward with the feel-good story? All right. So if not, I'm going to go right in and fall into this feel-good story. I will say with this one, you might remember this pastor, and he was the pastor for Justin Bieber. He baptized him. Justin Bieber, when he was going through a lot of his tumultuous times in his life, he got very close to this pastor, trusted him, and, believed in him. And then that particular pastor was found, to have cheated on his wife. And it was the downfall of his whole, existence, right? I'm going to say it was called Hillsong, but let's go ahead and listen, and then we'll have a quick briefing about it.
Betrayal, secrets, part of the human condition since the beginning of time. And if you've lived long enough, you've likely experienced it or loved someone who has. Tonight, a look at all three through the eyes of a very public couple who experienced all three in a very public way. Carl Lentz was once one of the most popular preachers in America. This evening, he's just like a lot of us. As the old saints would say, a sinner standing in the need of prayer.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to see you.
From rock star pastor to regular parishioner. Carl Lentz's road to redemption is steep, long, and far from over. And from boyhood to manhood, Sunday service, both sacred and sacred. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Today, it's his soul in need of salvation.
There's that saying that power and money and prestige don't change who you are, it reveals who you are.
It's true. Money and influence revealed that I was a broken guy that had some serious flaws that I could function with for a long time until you couldn't.
Correct your course and keep you closer to the shepherd. For a decade, he espoused and shouted salvation to others. Better than that if you got any reason to be thankful tonight. Thousands at a time. He was lead pastor of Hillsong NYC. This is our God. Left to the right. Let's sing it out tonight. Spirit lead me. Not just one of the most famous mega churches in America. Hillsong, the brand, was one of the fastest growing, hippest, high energy religious movements on earth. A diverse and youthful congregation, and celebrity drip like jewelry. Followers included actress Vanessa Hudgens, basketball star Kevin Durant, and pop star Justin Bieber.
I just want to love Carl more. You're doing a good job of that.
Carl Lentz was all that, until he wasn't. When his extramarital affairs made headlines, he was fired in 2020. Done.
A celebrity pastor admitted cheating on his wife.
Carl Lentz was a prominent pastor at Hillsong Church until he was fired.
And now the mega popular church announcing an investigation into its New York City branch.
The church itself embroiled in several controversies as well. And even to this day, Carl Lentz is still loathed by many online.
How did you let it fall apart?
My whole life.
Yeah. Why couldn't you keep it in your pants to keep it in control?
Well, that wasn't the primary thing that got me in trouble. It's not wasn't a sexual thing. It's not like I was out, looking to have sex or looking to commit adultery. I had deep brokenness that manifests itself in a lot of different ways.
Do you want to change?
I'm changing.
Tonight, Carl Lentz like you've never seen him before.
And the truth is, I was digging my own grave.
The depths of his demons.
A recovering sex addict.
I say recovering drug addict, recovering sex addict, sure.
His wife Laura sharing her darkest moment.
What was the lowest point for you?
I think the lowest point was, can I talk about that?
And the reasons she decided to stay. In the mid-2010s, Carl's public profile reached its peak, extending all the way to Hollywood, baptizing Justin Bieber.
There was a night where he wanted to renew his faith and he wanted to get baptized again. One of the most powerful things I've been a part of.
Pastor Lentz popping up on talk shows like The View.
You really don't look like any pastor that I've ever seen.
Interviews with Oprah.
I don't believe it's some ambiguous, like the wind blew and you're like, oh, the Holy Spirit. I believe that there's like
It's a thing. It's a power. It's a force.
It's God moving in your life.
Yeah.
How did it hit you being known as a celebrity preacher?
You just shrug your shoulders. I mean, it is what it is. You can't control what people call you. And
you can't control it, but did you play into it? Did you kind of hype it up a little bit with the muscle shirts and the torn jeans and the tattoos and the Brooklyn haircuts?
I feel like that's just who I was.
It's a normal, cool vibe when we get to just slow down.
We celebrate many different religions freely.
I've caught up with him many times over the past decade, both at his church and at his home. As a Christian living in New York, I sometimes attended Hillsong when Carl was pastor.
I want to look back to the first interview you and I did in 2014. So take a look.
You can't fake who you are. You are who you are. So if everybody on our...
Who are you?
I love people.
Tell me what's up.
I really want to have, the same heart for people that Jesus did, which is to not see what everybody else saw, but try to dig a little bit deeper. I feel like that's how I was reached.
Was it fake?
No, I'm not that good. That's crazy to look at that now.
What do you think about that guy now?
Man, I just was looking at myself going, I have no idea what's coming down that highway. I think I was scared even there. I think I see it in my eyes there, just probably overwhelmed.
So what I hear you say is, at that time, your life maybe was already getting messy in private.
Yeah, for sure.
Behind closed doors, Carl Lentz was spiraling.
Drugs?
Yep.
Alcohol?
No. No, never had a drinking issue. I was prescribed a drug to help with ADHD that I used most of my adult life. And towards the end of my time in New York, I started to abuse it really badly.
How many affairs were there?
I'm definitely not going to get into numbers. I feel like it was more than one and more that I got, caught for. But Laura's been through too much. My kids have been through too much, and I don't feel like it helps anything. But it definitely was not an isolated incident.
Are you a sex addict?
I'm a guy that was involved in infidelity. I definitely have addiction issues almost across the board. Sex addiction is never about sex. It's about trauma, and it's about what trauma produces. And sometimes it manifests itself in a sexual situation.
In November 2020, Hillsong informing staff and members they'd fired Carl after learning the extent of his indiscretions, citing several reasons, including moral failures. Lynch writing online he was unfaithful in my marriage.
When did Laura find out? How did she find out?
2 of my staff members came to get me to talk to me about what they wanted to talk to me about, which was we found some things and we want to ask you about it. I need to tell Laura. Drove over to the church office and sat there and told her the truth, which still wasn't the whole truth. And that was the day it started to kind of unravel.
Do you remember what you said to her?
I said, I've been unfaithful and it's going to come out. And I'm sorry. The tears in that moment were the most painful thing in my memory. But nobody deserves that, So I'm forever sad about that.
I'm struck by how when you said it to her, you gave her the sanitized description of it.
Yeah. Well, when you are lying and you get caught, your first instinct is, how much do I need to tell to make this work?
Mm.
I can't believe Ava had.
Of course, guys, I can't show the whole thing. I showed that piece. If you want to go, you can go to Nightline and watch the whole thing. But it was just, I don't know how many of you remember him, but it seemed like when he was on his up, Justin Bieber was doing well under his watch, and then the whole thing came crashing down. I think these individuals that nobody's perfect, so I'm not looking for somebody to be perfect, but I think before you step into a role like that, you definitely should have your unresolved issues resolved. I mean, that's the best I could say to that, because the wife is hurt, broken. God bless her, she stayed. That scandal was really big and it was a lot. I don't know if anybody want to say anything before I close out. But I feel like I brought in that story in connection with that. We're going to see, I believe, a lot of these entertainment people having a similar situation like this pastor, where they're going to have to spend a lot of time, trying to do atonement, so to speak, and redeeming themselves for the things and the lives that they have crushed and destroyed as a result of them being crushed and destroyed. Does anyone want to say anything before I close out?
I'd like to, if I may. What I do know is that when you are a pastor or you are a rabbi, a priest, a bishop, and you have a large following, or you have people who follow you and believe that you are bringing them the word, that you are the light, that you are that person, what will happen, and all too often happens, it seems like this is what happened to Carl Lentz, is the spiritual forces will gather together to come to destroy you. So this is why so many pastors and reverends and preachers and rabbis and so forth, have themselves prayer warriors who solely pray for them and their family to keep them strong, because what they come up against in that world is far greater than what regular everyday people on the ground are dealing with. And so listening to him, I can, from the little piece you showed us, I can see how, oh boy, it's going left. But he did not mention, I'm not saying he didn't have them, that he had what they called his council, his warriors, who were there to pray for him, to keep him in prayer, keep her in prayer, so that whatever the temptations are, that you are able to stand your ground against them and to continue to flourish in that word and to stay in that light. So I'm glad to hear that he's on his way back. And maybe he'll come back and he'll be even greater the second time around, because he would have passed the test and have owned his truth.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you, Felicia. You're right. Many of them, they have their prayer warriors, because the people will come for you.
Oh, they're going to come for you. They're going to come for you.
And there are some women, and I'm not blaming any individual here, but there are some women that they are just attracted to the person in the pulpit, and they could give a rat's behind whether they married or not. That's a whole other story for a whole nother day in and of itself. And it's just crazy. And you have to be prepared, to fight against the warfare. And he had a lot of infidelity. I mean, whoa. But anyway, guys, listen. Chat with me in the comments. And I will chat back. Yes,
Hello.
go ahead, E. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Diva, can I tell people something?
Of course you can.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to let everybody know I'm starting my own channel. And so it's called In Touch with E. And so I'm going to drop the link in the chat, and you guys can check me out if you like. I would appreciate it. And thank you, Diva, for allowing me to come over here and chop it up with you. I love you.
Love you back. There you go. Everybody support E. I know y'all always love her commentary. So there she is. Support her. Join her channel. Subscribe. Yes, In Touch with E. Okay, y'all? Come on now. All right, guys. Listen, if you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit the like button on the way out. I appreciate y'all. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do not cheat the divorce right there. Cheat to the big